Okay. Looks like we're streaming again. Hi, everyone. I got it working. I had to do a full reboot of my PC, but, you know, that's the business sometimes. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear. I have to get back to my YouTube studio just to make sure, you know, I can read all your chats and stuff. So right now, I can read them in OBS, but I can't. I'm not at the studio yet, so give me just a moment here. But if you can see me, Hassie's in chat. If you can hear me, let me know. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Okay, good. Looks like we're back in action with a camera, the lighting, all that good stuff. So, hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay here. Just sometimes this camera, bless it, I've had it for probably around 10 years. It's a Logitech C920. I can't show you it because I'm streaming with it. Like maybe if I had a mirror, but the Logitech C920 is like the workhorse of webcams. It's 720p. It has like an onboard mic, but it's very versatile, and it's lasted me this long. I've put that thing through hell. Trust me. It can be finicky every once in a while, but for the most part, it's reliable. Just like some quick troubleshooting, you restart your computer, you toggle it on and off. I really think it's mostly OBS that's the problem. I think the camera's fine, but OBS is weird like that. I might replace it. They make better USB cameras, but the only reason I got it is because it's just like a no-nonsense camera. You plug it in, you fire it on, and you're good to go. So, let's go through some... I got a super chat early on, before I even started this stream, from San and Sense 992 with 20 euros, which is really good. It's like 23 US dollars. So thank you so much, San and Sense. San and Sense's comment was, can't be there to watch, but here is to the great Silent Hill F review. Thank you very much, Sanin. Cheers. Today's drink, I'm trying a new brand of energy drink. This is C4. I normally drink Ghost, but C4 is all right. This is a cosmic rainbow flavor. I believe C4 used to license Skittles. So once the deal between Skittles and C4 fell off, they just rebranded it to Cosmic Rainbow. But it tastes like Skittles. It's pretty good so far. We've got some other comments here at the top. Gun Plus Skate says, already watched the new Silent Hill video 3 times. Wow. That's dedication. That's like 3 hours of your life. But if you enjoyed it, I'm happy to hear it. As you can see right behind me here, I still have my set decorations, the flowers. I've got so many of them. I got tangled up in the flowers near the end of that video, and I still haven't untangled those. But I think I like them. I think I like them enough to keep them as part of the set decoration. And then, of course, Heather back there made a little cameo. So we got Heather there, too. Okay, what up? Wow, 22 people in here. Shout out to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If this is your first cool stream, I'm Hikiko. I used to do these every Wednesday, but ever since Silent Hill F came out, I dedicated all my free time, all my spare time to working on that video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Ghost Core says, nailed Silent Hill F, thank you. Hey, what's up? Merc's in here. The sentry is down. Big mod. Gardenback says, good evening, all you Deadly Premonition lovers. That better be everyone in this stream. Powa Dunk, shout out. Frog Minutes is here. This boy better have a fursuit on. I've got my fur suit over here. I got one of the fox gloves here. I tried to like match it as much as I could to Hinako's arm, And this is made of the cheapest Chinese latex, which means I'm super allergic to it. So the entire time I was wearing this on the set, I was like itchy. I was itchy for like the next day afterwards. That's why I'm grabbing it by the fur and not the latex. I'm pretty allergic to latex. I suffered just like Hinako did for my art. Brandon Mark's in here. You like that Pete and Pete intro? That's good. Warehouse Dave, let's go. Reuse 2, welcome, welcome. Kenny's in here. Kenny Lauderdale, planned obsolescence. The Logitech has pulled through. I just had to reset some OBS settings. I'm going to say it's OBS. Anytime OBS updates, something breaks in my setup. I do have kind of a complex setup for the cool stream, so I can't really blame it too much. IDK says it was a good video, bro. I'm glad you think so. We'll be talking a little bit about that. Hikiko, have you ever tried out Mizurna Falls? Yeah, so I bought Mizurna Falls on my very first trip to Tokyo. There was this place called Setagaya, or no, it was in Ikebukuro. Somebody says, you don't know how to speak Japanese or whatever. I found that funny. It's like, this guy doesn't know anything about Japan. But I got Mizurna Falls. I was in I think it was called Suragura Junk Shop. Or it's like a retro game store. It's like a secondhand shop. And in the basement, and this was like, I want to say, back in 2019, before the pandemic. And all the retro video games exploded. I went over to Japan, and they just had hundreds of the rarest, craziest games for like 500 yen. I swear to you, I got Mizurna Falls for something like 700 yen in mint condition. And then earlier this year, when I went back to Japan, I was in Osaka, and I went to Super Potato. And Mizurna Falls was like 20,000 yen. It had jumped that high. And it's a lot due to over tourism and the explosion in the retro game market and awareness of them. But I copped a lot of my Japanese import collection back in 2019. If you go back and watch my very first Tokyo trip video, I had a whole suitcase dedicated to just like these retro PS2 and PS1 games and all that stuff. Like nobody was buying them over in Japan at the time. And I thought I hit like the treasure trove. And I annoyed some of the clerks. They're like, what is this guy doing here? Like, why is he so excited? Why is he buying all this kusoge? All these shit games. But, yeah, they used to be cheap, but I've played Mizurna Falls. I'd like to make a video on it sometime. I just have no immediate plans for it. Bradley Calavera says, we're all Deadly Premonition nuts. Yeah. Okay. I think we're all caught up. Oh, Powadunk says, love the Silent Hill F video. Pretty much nailed it. Thanks all for watching that. So I'll talk about that video, but let's introduce the game I'm playing right now. If you did not know, and I don't blame you if you didn't know, the Puppermaster series, Full Moon Productions, probably one of the biggest indie like second to Troma maybe, the indie horror Full Moon Productions. They own all the rights to Puppermaster, and Puppermaster has probably 10 movies, I want to say, and Full Moon also owns other things like Demonic Toys. There's like a crossover, so you can play as the Demonic Toys as well. But this is a free-to-play PvP Puppermaster game. There's humans here, or of course you want to play as the puppets. You've got Blade. And how they make money on this, of course, is with skins. So they have skins from all the various Puppermaster movies. And the production budget of this video game is probably equivalent to the production budget of the movies, maybe less. So it is a Unity game. It is very much a cell phone in quality kind of game. But I played a little bit of it before the stream just to get a handle on the controls. And I will say I kind of like it. It's not great whatsoever, but it has my favorite puppets in there. And I've been digging the Leech Woman. If you've never seen the Puppermaster movies, I think they might be on Tubi or on Shudder. Some of them might be. And there's also a really good Red Letter Media retrospective. So yeah, like there's Pinhead here. I always love this character. But they do have special moves. They have special executions. You can see their stats here. Like, of course, he's a tank. Big health, big strength. And they give you a little bit of background. But as I said, each one of these, you can also play as the humans here. They don't have William Hickey, who is like the original creator of some of these dolls. And like Puppermaster has like a very flexible lore. It kind of deals with like ancient Egyptian puppets and things of that nature. But well, we'll play a little bit. I'll play online. I'm not sure if anyone else is playing this game online, so I'll try and explain what's going on as we get there. Okay, so here we are, Puppermaster. I guess we'll just play. I guess I'm closer to the East Coast, so. And we'll just do a quick play. I have not played as a human yet. So we'll just see if anyone joins me. And if any of you guys out there have this game and you want to join me, feel free. And if I cannot find servers, if I can't find anyone else who's playing this, there is an offline mode. So I will give that a chance. Hey, we got 30 people in here. Shout out to everyone. Welcome. Hope you're having a good October. If you got any cool plans for Halloween, let me know. Dudes, like, Halloween candy's so fucking expensive this year. This whole year's been kind of expensive for old Hikiko. I'm not going to get into why. But just like, it's like one of those when it rains it pours situations. But also, the price of candy in America has like inflated to absurd degrees. Like, it's almost $30 for a whole big bag of candy. You know, just like the tiny little candies that you hand out to trick-or-treaters. So the lights might be off on the old Hikiko house this year. My neighborhood, historically, I've only gotten like one or two trick-or-treaters come through my neighborhood. And, you know, I put out the lights. I advertise that my house is giving out candy. And maybe I'll get like a father and a wagon full of babies or something stop by. And whoever does stop by, I load them up with candy. It's just like a lottery. I'm just giving kids, you know, I'm trying to get rid of the candy as fast as possible. But I want to be that house that, you know, spoils them. So past couple of years, though, I've maybe gotten 3 trick-or-treaters. Sometimes they'll be like teenagers and stuff like that. I'm just like, here you go. All right, so I'm going to give this a couple more minutes on matchmaking. If I don't find a server, I'll try another lobby. If I don't find a server there, we'll just play offline mode, so. Puppermaster, yes. I've never heard of Puppermaster. Sounds amazing. Brizzle, they are really interesting. Like the first, I'd recommend the Red Letter Media retrospectives if you want to get into Puppermaster. They do a really good job of like giving historical context. They are extremely low budget horror movies, and it's more like stop motion animatronic in the vein of Child's Play, kind of. So if you like Child's Play and Chucky, you'd like these. Bradley says the fact that there's an online Puppermaster game is wild. Yeah, nobody's playing but old Hikiko here. Let's leave this lobby. Let's try and find another lobby. Or let's just browse a game and see if anyone else is playing. Well, there's my answer. 0 lobbies. Maybe I should host my own. Does anyone here in chat have this game? Would you join me if I hosted? That probably would fuck up the stream if I hosted, but let's try a different server. Let's see if anyone in Asia's playing. Let's browse all the Puppermaster heads in Asia. Nope. All right, let's go to Australia. Everyone's probably asleep in Australia. There's going to be that one. No. Canucks. Any servers? 0. We're going to make our way. Europe. Hey! Let's just join. Let's join this one. Hell yeah. This may lag. I'm connecting to European servers, but we'll give it a go. All right. Somebody's already picked Leech Woman. I wanted to be Leech Woman. And my game is lagging already. So I'm going to play as Pinhead. Oh boy. He is pretty slow. And he can't jump as high as the other puppets. So he's got a straight punch on... he also has... You can do first person. And he also has a big old wrench. So we're going to play with the big wrench. I think you can see the other puppets here. So that's the Leech Woman. That's my favorite character to play as. And my favorite puppet from the movies, too. Leech Woman is super creepy. It's really dark on the monitor. So let me see if I can bump up the brightness on the game here. I think I'm being attacked. Yeah, where's is it down here? I can't tell if this is a bar that I can drag and drop. Here we go. Yeah, they got particle effects. They got fog effects. I'm not seeing a brightness option, so there's no brightness slider. Yes, very high texture quality. All right, well that's our options. I have 175 health. I think the Leech Woman only has 45 health. So as the puppets, you have a couple of objectives. You have to stop the humans from escaping alive. There's a human, and it just shot me, just blew me up in one fell swoop there. I've mostly been playing against bots. One of the demonic toys has a gun. I don't want to play as Pinhead. Let's hey, the Leech Woman's ready. Yeah. So I'll show you Leech Woman. She's got 75 health. I believe I can climb these. Oh well. So Leech Woman has a couple of long-range attacks, and as her name implies, she shoots out leeches, but her leeches also drain the health from her targets, too. So if you're a first-timer or something, I would recommend playing as the Leech Woman. I know this looks like extremely low budget, but it's honestly within theme of the series itself. I'm just going to fire off leeches. They're constantly draining. Look at all my leeches. They're like hanging in midair. Oh no! This dude has so much health. I shot at least 10 leeches at him. Ginger Deadman and Evil Bong are in the Puppet Master universe. Okay, so the humans won. They stole off Tulan's secrets. That's their objective. Our objective is to kill the humans or destroy all these like raven statues, but that's okay. We'll wait for the next one. Just getting warmed up. Hopefully we'll be in a brighter map here. Brizzle says, I'm about to watch What We Do in the Shadows movie, but I'll be back to check this stream. Brizzle, that is a fantastic movie, and it does tie into the television series. It's a prequel to the television series, so the television series is wonderful as well. I think I got kicked. The Europeans didn't like me, and they kicked me out. All right, let's see if anyone in India is playing. Oh, that's already filled. Japan. I'd be surprised if Puppetmaster's popular in Japan. Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm gonna try the East Coast real quick. Just because my connection's very unstable to the other servers. And nothing. Okay, we'll play offline for a little bit, get warmed up, and then I'll try matchmaking again. So offline mode is essentially like you're looking for bits of Toulon's journals, which is like the background story. So you're trying to get pages. So the more enemies you kill, the more Raven statues and objectives you clear, the more pages. Just kind of like if you played Friday the 13th. It's like Pamela Voorhees's tapes. I used to play a lot of that Friday the 13th online game. Dolly Dearest, is that also a part of the Full Moon universe? So we're going to try... I haven't played as any of the totems, but my game is lagging like crazy even though I'm offline. Let's play as... yeah, Mr. Static here. Hey, what's up, Novs in here? Yeah, there is kind of a bot lobby in a sense. Like, there are bot humans that show up. So this is my objective here, is to find those Raven statues. They're kind of put in an annoying spots, though. Hey, what's up, Nero Smith? I haven't seen Dolly Dearest. I've seen a lot of schlock, though, in my time. There was a Chucky ripoff that I really enjoyed, but I forget the name of it. I honestly love Chucky, though. Chucky is one of those horror franchises where every single film is canon, as well as the television show. And the television show is decent as well. I've come to like Curse of Chucky and Bride of Chucky. I honestly think almost every Child's Play has its merits. Maybe not Cult of Chucky as much, but the television show was really good. I'd say 2 probably has my favorite kills. And I like the doll factory aspect of it, the good guy doll factory. So, how's everyone doing? We're now at a good spot in the stream to talk about things, I guess. It's been about a month since my last stream. I apologize for that. As you might have suspected, I've been hard at work on that Silent Hill video. I no doubt put 100 hours easily into working on that in various capacities. But I always try and make the Silent Hill videos special because I like to honor the videos that inspired my channel. I got into Hikikomori Media because of Twin Perfect's real Silent Hill experience. I always loved how their videos were a kind of a main event. And this is so many years back, but it was just like something that my friends and I would gather around and discuss and watch and rewatch. And I just always loved their thoroughness and how they also had, you know, some humorous elements and other things. They had a good dynamic. And at the time, I know it's like commonplace nowadays for people to churn out video essays ad nauseum and analysis and all this and that. But back then, it was a very special event. And I think they did lead the pack in that sense. They inspired so many people with their series, the Real Silent Hill Experience. And they spurned discussion, and they certainly kicked the hornet's nest in terms of the Silent Hill community. When I make my jokes in my videos, there's always a grain of truth in the behaviors of people and just like the unruliness, the unruly expectations of Silent Hill fans, and I would say the impossible bar that any developer that's handling it has to clear. And I recognize this, like when I make my own criticisms, that I have an element of bias and an element of nostalgia. There's so many different things that come into play. When I was writing my Silent Hill F video, I didn't want to write it from a place of discouraging new interpretations or new takes on the franchise. But I also think if you're going to wear the franchise, the face of the franchise, if you're going to bear the name of Silent Hill, you should be held to a degree of quality. A certain degree of expectation should be met. And I elaborate a little further in my video, so I don't want to, like, you know, repeat all the same beats. But I played through Silent Hill F like 5 times. Combing through things. And I would say this too. Each time that I went through the game, I got a little bit more disenfranchised and a little more tired of the experience. I wasn't terribly intrigued by the plot. I didn't find the characters as compelling. And I'm not trying to like besmirch anime or what have you, but the characters just had like very predictable archetypes that they fell into. Not terribly complex motivations. Not a lot of mystery or aspects left to the imagination about who does what or why they're doing it, or maybe like duality. I think Hinako was perhaps the only character that I felt was fully developed. I mean, like, if you look at Hinako's parents, they just, like, they are there to serve stereotypical abusive parent roles. There's not really much to them. I don't know. A lot of the things it was attempting to do just felt kind of tired and stock, without, like, belaboring the point there. And I'm not saying that, you know, it doesn't have good things about the plot that I enjoyed. There are certain things that did surprise me, but to me, the game is like centered around dark Shintoism, right? Dark Shintoism that you have encountered in Forbidden Siren or Fatal Frame, to an even scarier and unsettling degree. Like, the difference between reading like a journal entry in Fatal Frame in Silent Hill F is that Silent Hill F, all the journal entries have an air of melodrama to them. Fatal Frame, or Siren even, when you read some of the journals in there, it's like you're reading a crime report. It's very gruesome. There are things that obviously they don't show in Fatal Frame that would push that T rating to its limits. But I feel like Silent Hill F is just made for a modern audience for sure. An audience that's really not equipped to deal with like surrealist aspects. It almost felt like Silent Hill F was afraid to be weird, to get weird with it, to leave things hanging, to leave things on a question mark. And somebody had like commented like, yeah, I was playing the game and it felt like the writers just didn't have confidence in their own work. And if they didn't explain things like what this monster was, people like, what are you afraid of is my question. Like, when you are making a game that has horror themes, are you afraid of your audience getting confused? I think confusion has a major element in creating a terrifying atmosphere. Like, not being able to describe what's in front of you is part of the horror. It's why why the original Silent Hill games have stood the test of time, why they're being discussed ad nauseum, and there's still fresh takes to be found, like, consistently over the years. Like, I just recently, before I started this stream, I was watching a Silent Hill 2 analysis by Daniel Santos, shout out, where he had a different interpretation of the 3 tablets in Silent Hill 2 and who they represented and what they represented. And he brought up some points that I'd never heard before about Silent Hill 2. He was talking about the final showdown with Eddie Dombrowski in the meat locker, and he was pointing out like the oblong shape of the hanging meat and how they had like a blue shorts on them that represented like they kind of, it was like almost mirroring the imagery of Eddie himself. And I was like, wow, I've played Silent Hill 2 probably 30 times in my life, and I'd never paid attention to the color of the meat and the shape of the meat and how they have like an obese figure of obese visage that mirrors that of Eddie. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Silent Hill F does not really have that level of complexity or those layers to pick apart. And that, and it's really, really bogged down by the combat. The combat itself, once you've like learned the tricks, like how to dodge or how to counter, or you got the correct omomoris, or you're leveled up to the max, there's no stress factor whatsoever. I don't know. I just felt the game did not strike a good balance in what it was trying to do, and it just gets so tiresome near the end. Like, they throw you through so many enemy gauntlets that you're no longer scared by the encounters, if you ever were in the first place, but you're just kind of like mentally exhausted of having to like perform the same exact combat. And there are bosses in the game that do change some things up and are fun for the first encounter, but the bosses themselves are very basic in a sense. So I felt if they were going to go in the full action direction, they should have developed it a little bit more and allowed you to like approach combat in different ways. I did mention like the possibility of a high risk, high reward, long range attack. That would have been cool. Somebody else mentioned in the comments like, yeah, I played through the game and it just doesn't afford you many opportunities to run away. Like if you're playing Silent Hill 2 or the original Silent Hill, you have options to like turn off your flashlight and, creep by if you need to. So if you just want to, avoid enemy encounters, you can. But the way that they structure some of those later levels in Silent Hill F, they're in narrow hallways where you're forced to engage, basically. And then there are straight up like enemy gauntlets all throughout the other world that resemble like Devil May Cry, where you have to defeat all the enemies in an area to proceed forward. Like there is no option not to fight. So it's, and how like the unlocks for the ending conditions are just don't use one of these health items, and then either purify or don't purify this sword. It's not as ingenious as other like more subtler things found in other Silent Hill games. I hate to say that like every game should like model itself after 2, but I think before you enter development on Silent Hill, you should understand like why 2 was so well renowned, and where like the best parts of Silent Hill 2 and almost any Silent Hill game exist outside of the game itself. I've always felt like the community aspects, the discussions, the analysis, the fan artwork, the music, like everything about Silent Hill 2 isn't just the game itself. It kind of extends beyond the game meta, or it is the meta outside the game. And Silent Hill F, like, it's kind of a one and done experience for me. Same thing with Short Message. I got everything that the game was offering the first time around. And then like somebody, back when I made first of all, my Short Message video is banned in some countries by no fault of my own. So I do have an uncensored version of my Short Message video up on Patreon if you'd like to watch it. But the Silent Hills of the Short Message, there's a couple of scenes in it like that. That's probably the least subtle out of any Silent Hill game ever. It's one of the least subtle horror games I've ever played. But there's a scene within Silent Hill: The Short Message where the protagonist recalls a suicide attempt, and they slash their wrist, but you don't see it. It just fades to black. But that scene alone caused YouTube to take down my video, send me 3 anti-suicide crisis hotlines. Like, they emailed me directly and asked me if I was okay because I had that scene. Like, the AI had scanned my video and thought that was me in the video. The protagonist in Silent Hill Short Message, it doesn't even show anything. It just like fades to black, but they thought it was me. They sent me 3 emails to see if I was physically okay. And then they forced me to blur out those scenes if I wanted to keep my video up. And they banned my video in a couple of countries. I don't know which ones, but I got a notification for that. And I don't even think that video is monetized anymore. I think maybe the only way you'll find my Short Message video is if you look in my playlist. Or you can go on my Patreon. It's uncensored up on Patreon. But the thing is, like, that is all in the game itself. And it doesn't really show anything. It just implies what happens. So it's really bizarre that, I don't know, that Short Message of all things would cause that sort of impact. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Short Message. I feel like many people gave Short Message a pass because, like, well, what did you expect? It's a free game. You know, it's a nice, cute little taste of Silent Hill for somebody who's never played it before. And my counter to that is, well, PT was also free, and it was one of the most influential demos or playable teasers, whatever you want to refer to it as. It was one of the most influential. It's not even, it's like a shorter runtime, yet it inspired like waves and waves of games. Like, it really doesn't necessarily matter how long the game is or the price of the game or whatever the experience. It's the impact it leaves. It's the lasting impression. And PT still to this day is being analyzed ad nauseum, right? Short Message does not have that staying power. In fact, many diehard Silent Hill fans gloss over it and had even forgotten like how Silent Hill F kind of borrows some of the motifs of Short Message. I don't know, man. Somebody had I don't talk about who's DM'd me or whatever, but I did have some pretty big figures in the Silent Hill community and YouTube in general reach out to me and said that they really enjoyed my video. And one of them told me that, like, yeah, you kind of expressed the conflict, the inner conflict that I had with this game, because they did not want to criticize Silent Hill F because it's a new attempt. It's not the worst thing in the world, what have you, but it's certainly like not up to the same quality standards of the original or what have you. But somebody else said something that like really, really stuck out to me. Hey, thanks for the subscription, Russian name. I can't read that, but thank you for the sub. Oh, you can shoot missiles. Sweet. There were a couple of points that somebody made in the comments, and then some people I had discussions with, of why Silent Hill F is getting like such high praise. Like, and it's getting some real high praise. Like Metacritic, my subscriber that Saint Incense told me that it has the same Metacritic as the Silent Hill 2 remake. And I just don't even think it's in the same ballpark of quality as the Silent Hill 2 remake. I think Bloober, I definitely think Bloober had a higher budget to work with, but I also think like Bloober paid more attention into the little details, and you can still like replay the remake multiple times and uncover lots of things. I just don't think like quality-wise, detail-wise, they're even in the same realm. But they asked me, like, why do you think it's getting such high praise, Silent Hill F? And the theory that I posit is just, it goes back. It goes back to when Silent Hill 2 Remake was announced. Somebody had asked me, like, why did I make certain jokes in my Silent Hill 2 remake? Like, what the video I made? Like, were Silent Hill fans really that toxic, or what? Were they really that mean to Bloober? Oh, yes. Some of the, I would say, the most prominent voices in the Silent Hill community were not willing to give Bloober the benefit of the doubt. They called him trash. They called them rape apologists. They called them like, they said they tokenized mental health and they were advocating for suicide, all this stuff. And they were basically treating them in the same degree that I had experienced when, the Twin Perfect videos came out towards the Western games. Like this, as I said, it was kind of history repeating itself to a certain extent. But those same prominent voices within the Silent Hill community had criticized Twin Perfect and said that Twin Perfect were toxic and that they treated Tom Hewlett and everyone else unfairly, so on and so forth. I'm like, well, then what the fuck are you doing to Bloober at the moment? Can you give them a chance? How about if you know so much about Silent Hill, you offer them some consultation, perhaps? And that was my perspective in writing those Silent Hill 2 videos, because I've made several ones. I was like, I'm willing to give them a chance. I thought they had some great environmental artists. I thought they were open to feedback. So, why not? It couldn't give... I want to see my franchise alive and thriving, and I want to see new takes on it, even if I don't always like the takes. Like, right now, this new Silent Hill revival has 3 bad games. I wouldn't call, like, F the worst, but 3 kind of mediocre games and 1 good game. 1 great game, I would even go as far to say. And I wouldn't even call Ascension a game, so maybe I'll just say just 2 so far. Townfall's an unknown. And we've got the Silent Hill 1 remake coming out, and I'm sure Bloober's going to continue to improve. It doesn't seem like they've dismissed the criticism. I believe that may be the key differentiator between the Western Silent Hill developed titles like Shattered Memories, Origins, Homecoming, Book of Memories. I think that's the key differentiator, is like whenever the criticism was thrown out back then, it wasn't really taken to heart. Like, they didn't really take the audience. And when those Western games were being developed, they didn't have like the gift of hindsight through video essays and other forms of analysis. Like, if you think about it, if you are developing a new Silent Hill game, you have like a whole wealth of information of people's perspectives, what they've liked about it, videos to like reference. People, like, you know, social media has exploded since then. You can actually reach out to the original developers like Masahiro Ito. You can ask him directly what he meant by this, or what he, what he values most about Silent Hill. So you have more opportunities to get Silent Hill right than wrong, in my humble opinion. Anyway, let's... I think we're about done with this map. Let's try to connect to the servers. So I felt that Bloober, going into the Silent Hill 2 remake, they had all those valuable resources. And they did listen to some of them. If you play Silent Hill 2 remake, they've somewhat, you know, whether you like it or not, they've validated some fan theories that just used to be in the headcanon. So they certainly are well aware of the community and what people have said about Silent Hill 2 over the years. They had some fun nods. They went their own direction in certain areas. I didn't agree with all of them, of course not, but I felt Bloober was closer to capturing Silent Hill than Neobards, unfortunately. So, with that said, this is my conspiracy, probably not so much conspiracy theory of what happened with the Silent Hill F scores and why people are scoring it so high. It's because when the Silent Hill 2 remake was announced, wagons were starting to be circled by all like the hardest-headed, indignant Silent Hill 2 fans, the gatekeepers or the new gatekeepers or whatever. And they've held Silent Hill 2 up as like an untouchable, it's like on this untouchable pedestal. It is a piece of art. It should not be touched by anyone else, so on and so forth. And they believed in that. But in order to reinforce their belief of that notion, they viciously attacked Bloober Team to justify their position, and people who just wanted to give it a chance. And, you know, I still get comments to that day that call me slop enjoyer or some shit like that, that I have blinders on. Guys, I was a very young man when the first Silent Hill 2 came out. I actually played it at launch. I played the original Silent Hill at launch. I played everyone ever since. You see that Heather poster behind me? I've had that since I was a teenager. It is probably, besides Deadly Premonition, it is a near and dear franchise to me. And I've also had my criticisms of the Western releases, but I've kind of, you know, gone back and revisited them. I've also had my own preconceived notions about what Silent Hill 2 means, and that it could be somewhat seen as a sacred cow in some respects. But I wanted to let those go and just give things a chance. I don't know. I feel like that's the most modest approach you can take, is like, well, let's see what happens, you know? And I also have the opinion that the Silent Hill 2 remake does not replace the original. Like, I think the canon does afford it to be a concurrent project, like, you know, an alternate dimension or another loop, if you will, if you choose to interpret it that way. And, I mean, like, Silent Hill 2, if you want to play it, it is very accessible. Like, people say it's not accessible because Konami isn't charging for it. Well, if you have a laptop from, like, 2006, you can go on archive.org and just get it now. or you can, I think there is the HD collection. I wouldn't recommend that. But if you truly, here's my other argument, if you truly do value Silent Hill 2 as a piece of art, then paying like $80 or $100 or whatever it's fetching right now is kind of a small price to pay for art, don't you think? But anyway, that aside, however you choose to access it, if you still hold those beliefs that Silent Hill 2 is art, you would also kind of think that any form of drawing attention to the original Silent Hill 2 is ultimately a good thing. And I think that's indicative of all remakes in general. Like, just because Zack Snyder and James Gunn's Dawn of the Dead came out, it does not erase George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. They are two distinct projects entirely. Two different types of vibes going on, and pace of the zombies, and I would say societal undertones to it, like what the message is behind each movie. They're both valued for different contributions, right? I think Silent Hill 2 remake, for the most part, does enough on its own to kind of form its own identity distinct from the original. Like, it does deviate enough, but not enough to, like, you know, ignore the contributions of its predecessor. It's a hard balance to strike, but it's also necessary in the sense that if we didn't have Silent Hill 2 remake, the franchise would just remain dead. Yeah, and like somebody asked me, like, why did they do Silent Hill 2 and not Silent Hill 1 first? It's because Silent Hill 2, in terms of like the public consciousness and awareness, is everyone's frame of reference. They know Pyramid Head, they know James, they know the big reveal. I mean, like, everyone knows it, okay? It's the cat's out of the bag. You got to have something like that's going to draw in cash, draw in a new audience, revive interest in the brand, so you can go back and give your more indie games or the more esoteric shit like Silent Hill 4 another go. Like, ultimately, I want to see that. I want to see, you know, the Silent Hill remake franchise find so much success that we truly see Silent Hill 4 as it was truly envisioned, okay? Not so much like, you know, the repeating levels, but for them to get real weird with it, you know? I want to see another Silent Hill 4. Okay. Sorry, I've been rambling. Chat, I'm going to read a little bit of chat right now, and then I'm going to tell you something. A little secret, a little YouTube community secret. Never liked unknown. I may have gone too far into some places. Beth Aniel says, I'm afraid that Bloober has more leeway to change and retcon Silent Hill 1, especially with Silent Hill Phenomenon that was shown in the I hope Bloober does not do the Silent Hill Phenomenon. In the original Silent Hill series, there is a there is a religious reason for what is happening within the town. Let's stick with that. We don't need to change anything. We don't need to make it like just completely psychological, even though there are still psychological elements within the first Silent Hill. You're dealing with Alessa's nightmare. The manifestations within one are more in line with Alessa's like hobbies, like her moth collection and things like that. There are more aspects to Alessa than there are for Harry. And 2, of course, probably has the most prominent psychological, like, one-to-one protagonist manifestations. 4 is perhaps the most bizarre of them all. 4 has some repeats. 4 has a lot of repeats that were retroactively justified to be like, oh, this means this to Walters. I think like the best correlation in 4 is Walters' victims. They're just Walters' victims. Paul says, I always had a positive outlook on the Silent Hill 2 remake because I always looked at it as, at least we'll get a new Akira Yamaoka soundtrack. Even if the game was bad, there was always something good to expect. I mean, yeah, there's always new Yamaoka music. I can say that much about Shore Message. Frankie Fonseca says, I didn't know the demo hated the Silent Hill 2 remake. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not talking about other YouTubers. Cherry Mellow says, were you ever going to do a cool stream or review of Chronos the New Dawn? I reached out to Bloober for a review key for Chronos, and I was waiting to hear back from them. And then while I was waiting, a bunch of other games I was interested came out. So maybe eventually. I mean, like, if I'm being honest with you guys, I reviewed the Medium, so that's like the other Bloober game I've reviewed, but I'm just primarily interested in their Silent Hill stuff. I do know that Chronos is inspired a lot by the original Dead Space, and I'm interested on that basis, but I've got other priorities at the moment. Okay. So, I'm going to try and connect to these European servers and see if I can play with somebody else. Now, my thing is, like, why is Silent Hill F being praised so highly? I think it's because all those Firebrain detractors, the people that weren't going to give Bloober a chance, that weren't going to give the Silent Hill 2 remake a chance, on the basis that it was a remake. Like, you know, the most shallow reason why you wouldn't give it a chance. They've kind of painted themselves into this corner to where they have to hate this shit forever. It's just how it's got to be. Not only do I hate the Silent Hill 2 remake, but I have to hate all remakes, right? To be consistent. So, when something like Silent Hill F comes along and it's an original entry in the franchise, and it's not as shitty as Short Message, it has some actual gameplay to speak of, they have to give it such high praise and high regard to, like, go back and retroactively say, like, see, this is what I was talking about. Why didn't they just make original IP in the first place? I was justified in my hatred and behavior towards Bloober Team and all that other shit. I think there's a lot of that. I think it's just much better for everyone else to, like, you know, judge games on their own merits. Like, I didn't just, like, come in with any preconceptions about Silent Hill F. As a matter of fact, I was just quite excited for it because, and I'm willing to wager this too, out of all the people that covered Silent Hill F, I want to know how many had actually played Bloober's other games. Like, not Bloober, Neobard's other games. Like, I seriously played Resistance for a good year of my life. I seriously put in some time in Resistance and Reverse. In my video on those games, I did, at least in Resistance's case, praise Bloober's level design and attention to detail. So on that basis, I was kind of excited, and if you go back and you watch the teaser trailer for Silent Hill F, it feels a lot more promising in what it's going to deliver. Like it looks more suspenseful, slow burn, survival horror, in a bit like Forbidden Siren. And I don't think the final game realized that. And I challenge you all. If you disagree with me, you know, just on my face, if you just disagree with my points on the face based on things you've seen, play it for yourself. Play it a couple of times. It'll sink in for you. You'll feel like how bored and tired you'll get, especially like near the last third of the game is just kind of a slog in general. So guys, you know me. Deadly Premonition is like my all-time favorite game. I'm willing to put aside some like annoying enemy gauntlets and annoying battles. I'm willing to toss that shit to the side if the other aspects of the game are compelling, be it the story, the atmosphere, the vibe, the comedy. Something has to pull me in, and I don't think that was the case in F, and I stand by that. I don't think I'm gonna have an epiphany next year and just be like, oh. I truly think I spoke exactly how I felt on the matter. So at the end of it all, it's up to you. See for yourself. And that is my piece on Silent Hill F. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, wait. That was my piece on Silent Hill F. Let's try a demonic toy. I'm going to play as Zombie-toid. He's kind of like a small soldier. He has a gun, which makes him like one of the most invaluable characters you can play as. And you can also go into a first-person perspective if you want. Like this. So, like, that's one of my objectives up there. You can get a laser sight. Like, why would you ever play as anybody else? Perhaps the most broken character in Puppermaster. Oh, he's... He has a gun. It's only fair, right? Ah, I got ragdolled. We're just gonna ankle bite him. Let's take him out. I think I've got almost unlimited. No, I don't. I have limited health because I'm in offline mode. He has a... I love this finisher. So good. That's one for the good guys. Score one for the good guys. Never Liked Unknown says, I'll speak for myself on the medium. I did not enjoy it. I have a video on the medium, so if you want to know my video on the medium, I consider that to be my first video predicting what's going to happen with the Silent Hill remake series. I called that one years before it was even announced what they were going to do. When Bloober made the medium, I said, Bloober, you've got your work cut out for you. You are inheriting the Silent Hill community, which is one of the most insufferable fandoms. Not everyone. I actually know a lot of cool Silent Hill fandoms and like just regular normal people that are interested in the form of discussion about the franchise and not trying to like apply their own objective reasoning to what everything in a surrealist piece of entertainment means. But If you go back and watch my medium video, I'm like, Bloober, this is what you gotta look out for when you're making Silent Hill. And then, lo and behold, about a year after I made that medium video, they had the Silent Hill transmission where they announced Silent Hill 2. And then I made a video about that, once again telling them, like, okay, this is what you're gonna get. The Silent Hill 2 fans are just gonna shit all over you relentlessly. And it happened. But they took it in stride. Yeah, I would agree. You know they're making a medium movie? Allegedly? I already felt the medium, the game, was essentially the medium movie. It didn't have a lot of places to go. I kind of would rather them do a medium sequel. Hey, we found all of them! Okay, so I've destroyed the ravens. Now I've got to destroy the pyramid. And then that's our objective. This is a free game. Free to play. I don't know that I'll be playing it ever again after this stream. There's nobody to play with. That's the problem. If I could get a group together or something, I would definitely like this. But it's a niche of a niche of a niche. Like, how many Puppermaster fans exist in this world? Then out of that group, how many play video games? And then out of that, how many would be interested in playing an online Puppermaster game? Not a whole bunch. Hey, Michael B. Great Silent Hill video. Thank you, guys. Smeem Boy 79. Hey, Hikiko, your review was great. Love the intros and all the Silent Hill videos. Thanks so much. As I said, I try and make them... I have fun with them. I've been making Silent Hill videos almost as long as the channel's been around. I believe my first one was the Silent Hill Shattered Memories video with Kirk Almighty. Shout out to Kirk if he's in chat. When I first made Hikikomori Media, one of the things I always wanted to make was like a different take on some of the Western games. And I reviewed 2 of the Western games. I made a short video on Homecoming, and I've referenced Homecoming several times. And I haven't talked too much about Book of Memories. I did talk about Book of Memories within the Downpour video. But when I started this channel, I of course was inspired by the real Silent Hill experience. But I felt they were a little too unkind to Shattered Memories. And I still think a lot of the Silent Hill community, especially like when you get up into like the old guard of Silent Hill, they think Silent Hill Shattered Memories is shallow and, you know, very basic, and it's like surface level, very accessible. But I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with an accessible Silent Hill game. I felt Short Message was trying to be accessible, but in such a patronizing way that it doesn't really leave you with much to consider. Like, I think Shattered Memories has a lot of great things going for it. Now, there are some shallow, gimmicky aspects about it, but, you know, it is a video game, and it was trying to interject some originality into it. I think Shattered Memories' problem is that it informs you way too early on of what's happening. Like, at the very front, I think I said this in my video, but at the very front of the game, it tells you about its main mechanic, the psychology system, right? Where the game is measuring what you say, what you stare at, all that sort of stuff. It kind of tells you what's happening, and I think that's a problem in a sense, because it would be much better if you just naturally came to that revelation throughout experiencing the game. Or maybe, throw it in at the end. Like, okay, here's how the game was measuring you, right? That would have been cool. But it kind of reveals the magician's trick early on. But whatever. Shattered Memories has, I think, one of the most, one of the best soundtracks for sure. It was Yamaoka's, last soundtrack before he went on to Grasshopper and made Shadows of the Damned. And I feel like he repurposed some of the Shattered Memories music, or at least some of the tracks he was going to use for Shattered Memories, into Shadows of the Damned. He did repurpose Silent Hill 4 music in Shadows of the Damned, which I pointed out. What I like most about Shattered Memories is the attention to detail, and how each loop or how each iteration of how you play it has something new to offer and something fun, even though it's maybe not mind-shattering. They were tapping into something that I feel most people perceive about Silent Hill. And how it relates to the psyche of the character, how it manifests things within the town based on who the protagonist is and what they've experienced. And for them to dynamically do that on a Wii game, no less, was pretty ambitious for the time. And I don't think many games in general do too much of that, dynamically altering things in real time and outcomes like that. And I thought that was fun. I personally don't mind the chase sequences, the raw shocks. I was talking with a friend about this, and I said, the raw shock stuff, after you figure out the maze, the hedge maze sections, you can get them every time, and they don't really offer too many surprises. What I would have liked for the raw shocks is if they were just dynamically woven into the game themselves. Maybe if they were a stalker enemy that appeared randomly every time you played, at different areas. So you could, never truly feel comfortable, right? But they have their own levels in Shattered Memories, so it is what it is, I suppose. But I would definitely like to see, I would like to see Townfall to take some of the lessons, not all of them, but some of the lessons from Shattered Memories and expand upon them. Have more choose your own adventure aspects. I mean, every Silent Hill game to a certain degree has a bit of choose your own adventure with the multiple endings, right? I would like to see Townfall really run with that. Because it's Annapurna Interactive, I believe. They're known for more walking simulator, more richly detailed story kind of games and stuff. I would like to see them reference, not directly, but, try and use some of the lessons from Shattered Memories and expand upon them. But that's a personal taste, okay? I think there's room for multiple Silent Hill ideas, and I definitely did not want to come across Silent Hill has to fit a particular mold. All that matters is if a game entertains you at the end of it all, right? If there is some value to it. And I think with F, it was entertaining for maybe the first 2/3, falls apart at the end, and then subsequent playthroughs, it just becomes a slog. Bloober definitely figured out combat gameplay now. Yeah, from what I've heard about Chronos, my conspiracy theory, I don't even think it's a conspiracy theory, but my theory is Bloober, when they make a new game, it's because they want to practice for the game they actually want to make, right? So I think Chronos is practice for the gunplay and things that they want to do in Silent Hill Remake. Maybe expand upon... Silent Hill 1 has a whole arsenal of weird weapons and long-range stuff, and they have flying enemies and a variety of odd enemies. So I definitely think that they're taking lessons. Like every game they make, they just add it to their repertoire. They add it to their skill set and try and improve upon it. So if you guys played Chronos and you've enjoyed the gunplay or you enjoyed the atmosphere or whatever, that should inspire some hope for the Silent Hill remake, for sure. Never liked Unknown, as in you think the medium was practiced for Silent Hill 2. I say as much in my video. Go back and watch my medium video that I made years before Silent Hill 2 remake came out, and I said this is exactly what they're doing. And that's what they did. Okay, we're gonna play one more map. Yes. We're unlocking pages as we go. I'm gonna try the Underworld. And then, we're almost at an hour 30, so it's been a good stream so far. Thanks so much to everyone who's joining. So, if you got any questions, comments, whatever, throw them my way. We're just gonna leave it to fate how long this level takes. I'm gonna play as Jack Attack, one of the most infamous, when I was at the rental stores growing up. Demonic Toys, the cover art for Demonic Toys always creeped me out, and it was because of Jack Attack here. Very iconic. Something about clown imagery. I think clown is like one of the biggest common fears that people have. It's probably why Pennywise and It was so successful. It's just because it's a common fear. Is Torch playable in this? I'm not sure. I think so. I'll have to go back and check. Alan Smithy says, I've been tuned into these streams for a while. I was in Japan. Did you change your stream day? Alan, I haven't streamed for about a month. And that's because I've been working on the video, the Silent Hill video. And I also had some things going on IRL that I had to attend to. It's one of those things like sometimes in life where everyone needs something from you all at once and you can't put it off. Like, there are things going on, nothing like too terrible, but just like really crazy time pressing things that I had to do on top of making the Silent Hill video. So, not to say I don't like streaming. I do. I love streaming. But I feel like when I really want to make a video or say something or, I don't know, dedicate something, I really need my full focus. And streaming, like I really do put in a lot of preparation to get the cool streams going. So my free time for the past month has been very limited. And things are starting to settle down now, thankfully. And I've got another game that came out today. And I was sent a review key of Hotel Barcelona. And people have been asking me all throughout the comments, Hikiko, when are you going to talk Barcelona? It's coming. Probably November. We'll have a little sweary file situation on our hands. And I also want to talk about Stray Children. So I've got 2 games I'm kind of playing back to back. I guess this is a good problem to have, is like they're churning out so many bangers left and right that I'm running out of time to play them. So yeah, I've got a lot of things going on IRL that, you know, I don't want to complain about. I would say my life is, you know, it's good, and I'm very grateful for the things I have. I'm grateful that people watch my videos and comment and make me laugh and donate and support everything, because I really try and keep you all in my mind and my heart when I make this stuff. I don't want to just half-ass it and phone in something, you know, because you guys have been supporting me over the years. So HM is always in my heart and mind, even though, you know, real life kind of gets in the way sometimes. But the real life things that I'm taking care of right now also kind of bleed into the channel itself. So when I solve the problems in my real life, I can get back to doing the things I love. So all good things. I got it ironed out. As I said, some major stuff is happening in my life. I really can't say what. I'll probably talk about it when it's all over, but it's nothing like life or death. It's just like, holy shit, I have to make a choice. And if I don't make this choice in a certain amount of time, I'm going to have to make an even crazier choice. And I have even less time to do that. So when you get older, a lot of stuff like that just happens. But it's okay. I've dealt with worse. And once I said, it's nothing like life or death. It's nothing like terrible per se. It's just like, hey, you need to make this choice and you need to get everything together, and you have only X amount of days to do it. I'm like, shit. That's like everything just kind of fell on the same date. Like, I was stressing out about how Hotel Barcelona and Silent Hill F were released one day apart, because I'm like, I know I'm going to have to make videos on both of those things. And I said, like, whichever comes first gets precedence. So that's what happened. Anyway, things are starting to settle down. I'm able to game again. And life's okay. Sounds like your life is strange, Hikiko, the strangest. Ghost Core says you're the best game reviewer on YouTube. I don't think I am, but I appreciate the sentiment. Anytime that I think I'm hot shit, you know, I'm humbled. I'm humbled all the time, because I watch videos from, it doesn't matter like how many subscribers somebody has. I'll be watching somebody with, like, you know, a couple thousand subscribers, and they'll make some good ass points, or they'll do something in their editing, or their heart comes through, their voice comes through, and I'm just like, damn. That is something I wish I could do, or I wish I knew more about, you know? There are people way crazier than me on here they're pulling off like Hollywood level production skits and insane knowledge of After Effects. Like, you know, I just have a basic knowledge of effects works. Like, I've done visual effects for the channel. It's like, you know, I wish I had the budget here. I wish I had other people to help me on the channel, like editing here. But at the same time, it's like, you know, anyone that I would ask to do some of the stuff that the channel demands wouldn't want to do it, and I wouldn't blame them, because it's very time consuming. Not to complain, I do like editing and I do like making videos, but the production process of making 1 minute of content on YouTube sometimes translates to about an hour or two of work, depending on what you got to do. You know, just speaking over like random B-roll, that takes like no time. But if you want to like match clips or reference something or pull an obscure interview out or do research, or, you know, doing research, playing the game, capturing footage, it is a very involved process. And I think like once you've started a YouTube channel or you've made some videos, even short form content, if you've just done a little bit of editing, I think it makes watching movies and watching YouTube videos a bit more enjoyable, because I look at it from like a sense of appreciation, like, holy shit, I can tell how much time they put into that. Just like they really probably spent like 200 hours just to make this one dumb little thing happen, or they like went into Blender and made their own original 3D models and shit. Like, that's what YouTube's all about, is like it's a far different ball game. In many ways, I feel like I am, you know, behind the curve. A lot of modern YouTubers or new YouTubers and stuff like this have utilized new editing programs and effects and way of communicating and vertical videos and all sorts of shit to tell their stories. And I've if you watched the channel like a couple months ago, I started experimenting with short videos and they did okay. They are kind of fun. I'm more of a long form guy. Like that's back when I first started YouTube, there was like a time limit. I think it was somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes that you were allowed to upload at a time. And if you saw a 10 or 15 minute video, that was like full length. And then some people got even crazier and made like multiple part videos. Like this is part 2, 3, 4, whatever. And that was a big ordeal. And then YouTube released the time restrictions. So then you had people fucking abusing it. It's like 24 hours of SpongeBob farting or something, you know, just abusing it. But then like the canvas kind of grew bigger, right? And when I first started, I was like, I want to make big videos. I want to make videos that you can return to multiple times. And some people tell me, like, they'll go back and watch an old video and say they go back, and it humbles me. It's like a humbling thing to hear that. I go back and I look at my old stuff and I'm just like, oh my God, I could have done this way. I could have rephrased that. The editing's awful. The pacing's bad. You know, I look at it from that perspective. But I don't hate that I did it. I'm happy that I did the process, you know. Consult the game facts. Yeah, I've done that a few times in the videos. The old words, you know. When I do my research, a part of my research process is going to places like game facts or old YouTube videos or listening to what people were saying at the time, because we have that gift with YouTube that we have an archive of where people talked about certain things at the time, what they were thinking of. If you go back and watch my D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die video, I referenced a certain time capsule. Some of you might know who I'm talking about, but a certain authority on what it was like when D4 released. I think some people appreciated that perspective being included. Michael B says, I hear you. It's taxing, and incorporating new elements into a project takes a lot more time than you predict. With every video that I make, I try and do something new in presentation. I try not to like stick to one particular format. Like I'll make new special effects or new title card sequences or ways of presenting information. Just so like I continue to enjoy the process and keep it a learning thing. Short form video lately has been that for me, of making sure I don't get rusty and, you know, keeping up with modern attention spans to a certain extent. Michael B says, from my point of view, you've got the most important part of the content creator down. Substance, style is eye-catching for sure, but it's something that you can experiment with more later. Well, thanks. When I try and present my information, I don't want to present it from like the end-all be-all authority, even though like some people may interpret it that way. I try and do it from like if I were having a conversation with one of my friends, and people who are watching this stream that know me IRL know that, you know, I speak to people not to patronize them, but to include them and kind of tell them my process of thinking, even though some of my stories, the way I speak may be a little, verbose or long in the tooth, whatever you want to say. I try and keep, oh my God, I try and keep my style true to myself as much as I can. Alan Smithy says DSP will outlive the heat death of the universe. He sure will. Cherry Mello says, I go back to your Yakuza Fury video. You know, I had somebody comment today. I read a comment. Somebody had said, this is one of the greatest videos on Yakuza Fury ever. And I don't imagine there are many Yakuza Fury videos, but that warms my heart. Yakuza Fury, I'll tell you the story about that. Ugh. I'm going to tell you one more story before we call it on the stream. It's been good catching up with all you. We also got to save some stories for next time, right? If you didn't know, if you're new to the channel, I've covered a lot of obscure games. It's kind of my niche over on YouTube, is obscure Japanese games, weird regional variants, Silent Hill, survival horror. But I used to have a series, and I still do, it's just kind of dormant, called the Simple series. And they were cheap 2,000 yen games that were released in Japan. They were like PlayStation 2 games mostly, but they expanded to other systems. And the whole concept was they were 2,000 yen, which is like a little under $20 US. So my aim with those videos was to like take a look at these low budget games that punched way above their weight class. So if you don't know, the Simple series spawned Onichambara and Earth Defense Force are the two most famous ones. And they made like a dollar store generic version of Yakuza. The Simple series did. It was called Yakuza Fury. And I loved Yakuza Fury because it's this weird choose your own adventure Yakuza 2D beat 'em up. And there was like no information about this game anywhere on how to play it, how to get the different endings, how to proceed further. So I challenged myself to try and figure out how the game worked. And I discovered it along the way. At the same time, I really wanted to make a funny skit. And I wanted to like weave it into the narrative that somebody could relate to, that we've all been through before, right? So Yakuza Fury was like a knockoff of Yakuza. It was like a $20 knockoff of the Yakuza series. And it would be something like your parent would pick you up, mistaking it for Yakuza for your birthday or something like that. So that was the premise, was like my mom bought me this game by accident and then expected me to enjoy it. So I was trying to make the best of the situation. But I also based it somewhat off of real life experiences. So if you watch the Yakuza video, Yakuza Fury video, it's based off of some sad things, but funny things that had happened to me. And there's also a photo reference that I was trying to capture too. But old Hikiko there, he throws a big birthday party and he's so excited, but he has to throw his own surprise party. And then it sends out all these invitations and nobody shows up but his mom. And his mom is like Hikiko in this scenario is a latchkey kid, and his mom is like bringing home a new boyfriend scenario. And like my mom is played by Kirk, and Kirk is hilarious. We bought the shittiest wig possible, and Kirk, we just kept improving and thinking of like the funniest, most insulting things we could say to me. And then my buddy Ryan shows up as my mom's new boyfriend, and my buddy Ryan is like one of my oldest friends. And me and Ryan based the dialogue in that video off of something we encountered. Without explaining who or what, basically, my buddy Ryan and I were staying the night at my friend's house, like back in high school. And my friend's mom always had a new boyfriend, and he was always like some random biker guy that she met at the bar. And this guy, I believe his name was Troy. We were at this party or something at my buddy's house, and Troy was there, And Troy was like drunk off his ass, and he would just, you know, tell all these stories, like all these like wild fucking biker stories. And he was so drunk that he forgot that he kept telling the same story. So he was like caught inside a loop of telling the same story. And he was talking to my friend's brother, my friend's younger brother. And he was like trying to give him life advice, like a father would, right? And so Troy ended up giving my friend's younger brother a do-rag. You guys know what a do-rag is? He had like this American flag do-rag. And he was bestowing this do-rag to my friend's younger brother. And he was saying some shit like, listen, this do-rag here, what you want to do is you want to wear it, and you gotta want to wear it proud, okay? This has the flag on it, and I want you to wear it, and I want you to wear it proud. But at the same token, if you're wearing this at school and anyone tells you to take it off, I want you to look them directly in the eye, smile, and put it in your back pocket. Am I understood? And my friend's younger brother's like, yeah, I get you. And then right after he says, yeah, I get you, Roy pulls out the do-rag again and starts it all over again. He goes, now listen, this do-rag here, it represents our country. I want you to wear it loud. I want you to wear it proud. But let me tell you something. If you wear this do-rag at school and somebody tells you to take it off, I want you to look them in the eye, smile, and put it in your back pocket. Understood? And my friend's brother's just like, yeah, I got you. And me and my friend Ryan are in the other room, and we're just laughing so hard because this dude is so drunk that he is caught in this loop, constantly bestowing this do-rag to this young boy. And Ryan and I are like crying. And then so Ryan and I have both had similar scenarios like this shit in our lives, like where there's just like some random boyfriend that our mom brought home that's just like trying to, like, you know, be the new dad, right? Be the new dad in our lives, and then gives us like some random advice that's just really not applicable to anything, right? So when I wrote that Yakuza Fury video, Ryan and I had just remembered this do-rag story. So we were just creating like the most disgusting sexual scenarios that Kirk, who was playing my mom, and Ryan, that was playing my new dad, would get into. And then I was just excited for the new prospect of having a new dad in my life. So that's, if you go back and watch that Yakuza Fury video, it's based on real events, which I think makes it funnier. So yeah, I've lived a very blessed and funny life, is what I like to say. When I tell these stories, people are like, you're just making shit up. Like, no, reality is always stranger than fiction, okay? I live, my entire life, I live for characters like that, for moments like that. I love meeting bizarre figures and then remembering these stories. I have somewhat of a photographic memory. And I can just like warp back to those times in my life where I'm just like, what the fuck was going on? What did I witness? I am Henry Townsend. I am the observer of these people, and I must share their stories. But let me tell you something. When I give you this do-rag, I want you to know what it represents. It represents our country, and I want you to wear it loud, and I want you to wear it proud. But if you take it to school and somebody tells you to take it off, I want you to stare directly into their eyes, smile at them, and put it in your back pocket. Understood? He told that story at least 5 times. At least 5 times. And Rai and I were dead. That's why I can remember it so vividly. Anytime I see And believe it or not, American flag do-rags are quite common in the Midwest. Anytime I see a biker with a do-rag, I have to text Ryan or something and tell him about it. Rai, if you're watching this, I know he watches the cool stream sometimes. I'm sure he can back me up on this. Well, he did hand over... Did he hand over the do-rag or not? Yes, he did. But, like, I think he took it back each time. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not even sure the kid wore the do-rag after all that. Oh. And here's the thing, like, I don't think the biker guy stuck around for long. Like, you know, he was just there. He wasn't there for a long time. He was there for a good time, if you know what I mean. So, like, we never saw him there anymore, but my buddy Ryan and I did see him out in public somewhere. I don't remember where it was. Like, my buddy Ryan and I, we worked at a thrift store for a while, and I think we ran into him there. And we're like, hey, you're Troy, that biker guy. He goes, oh, hey, how's it going, man? Where do I know you from? And I didn't want to bring up the do-rag thing, but we did catch up with him. I was like, yeah, you were hanging out with us at this party. He goes, oh, yeah, I had a good time there. That's all he said. I don't know if he's still alive, but I hope he is. I wonder, well, imagine this guy is like Johnny Appleseed, right? But with do-rags. Like, he's going around the Midwest knocking up people's mothers and then handing off do-rags to young boys all around the world, giving them the advice that they should wear it loud and proud. But yeah, that's a real thing. Like an Ubisoft NPC. Right. He was a true patriot. I need that do-rag now. Cherry, I would wear it loud. I'd wear it proud. Video Gione says, I don't know what a do-rag is. A do-rag is actually, it's like a piece of fabric. Think about pantyhose. Some people use it to protect their hair. Like if you get weaves in your hair, you'll wear a do-rag to kind of keep them fresh and not get messed up. Some people just like wear them to, you know, keep the hair out of their face, or they just wear it as a fashion thing. But they're basically made out of the same material as like pantyhose, or if you ever wore like a baklava. If you ever worn like a baklava, it's the same kind of polyester blend thing. Yeah, go everyone after this stream, go get you a do-rag. And then tweet at me if you're wearing a do-rag. And I want to make sure you wear it loud and wear it proud. Never liked Unknown. You like that story. Well, I'm glad I could treat you with that. Go back and watch that Yakuza Fury video with this story in mind. And I think it'll enhance everything with that knowledge, okay? All right, guys, that's it. I've had enough of Puppermaster. I think I've done as much as I could do. Nobody else is playing it. Single player is kind of a bust, but it's okay. It's a free game. If you like Puppermaster, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'd recommend Friday the 13th, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or the Evil Dead game if you're going to play horror. I haven't played Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I am interested in that. Hell of a story you got there, Zinni. Yeah, it's a shared story. Okay, guys. Hold on. I got something for you before I leave. I'm going to leave you with this.
Happy Halloween to all you fuckers.
One more time.
Happy Halloween to all you fuckers.